Welcome to another Power Hour presentation from the Canada Growth Network.
My presentation is on the power of a great headshot in building trust. Authenticity is something that I am very strong in, and running a business. It's a lot more than looking good and being quote unquote photogenic. It's all about building trust in the photos that you use, in the copy that you write. Because before someone reads your bio, clicks on your website, or visits you on social media, they're already forming their opinion of you as far as whether you're someone that they trust. And your headshot that you use is one of the first impressions that will help form that opinion of people. So anyway, just a brief little bit about me. I am born in England. I live here now, but I did live in America for many years, thus the accent. I originally trained to be a teacher and taught young kids for about 10 years. Decided that that wasn't really the career for me and went back to university and did visual communications, which is where my heart is happy. I've grown up around animals, which led to me working in the vet industry for many years, both here and abroad. As you can see, my first camera was a Fisher-Price, and obviously that one didn't take very good photos, didn't take any photos. But I went from there to Polaroid, point and shoot, darkrooms, digital photography, and then during the pandemic, embraced remote photography, which is otherwise known as virtual photo shoots. I opened my business in early 2019 and did mostly local on-location photography. Then I've rebranded through the years, and with taking on remote photography, that is now about 90% of my work now because of the convenience, and I will touch a little bit about it further in this presentation. So this was a quote that I quite liked. Photography is the only language that can be understood around the world. It doesn't require words. You form opinions from the photos themselves. So why do we need to build trust? Well, it starts in seconds, so we really don't have to do a lot to start forming that level of trust. We make decisions incredibly quick, often in seconds. Online, those decisions are usually based visually initially. And then if people are interested in what they see, they will take the time to read further and learn more. And as I said, your headshot is often the very first interaction that someone has with you and your business. It quietly helps shape the opinion of how safe, how capable, how approachable you are in their opinion. A lot of it is around psychology. And when someone sees your photo, they're not just analyzing it. They're feeling it. You can, especially mention black and white photography earlier. I find that in photos that are black and white, it almost encourages you to use your imagination more in discerning what that photo is about. You don't have the distractions of different colors. I mean, this photo that I picked, you can kind of make opinions of what you think is going on. It could lead to, essentially a story about the photo without having to say any words. Subconsciously, people are asking, can they trust this person? Do they feel approachable? Do they seem confident and capable? So it's not about perfection. You don't have to have overposed, overpolished images. Less is always best. Be yourself. That helps as well in building the authenticity. Trust at a team and brand level. So it doesn't only sit with one person when you're forming trust for a business. It's the entire brand. So it's everybody that works for the business. They all play a factor in that. And people will trust people more than they will a logo, which is why on social media platforms, they always suggest that you place your personal photo on your profile rather than a logo, because it will help in building those connections. But when clients see a team, it helps build familiarity before they even walk through your door or reach out to you, and they get to know who the faces are behind the brand, and that helps form their opinions. But there are some common trust-breaking mistakes that you have to pay attention to, especially with photography, things that can quietly erode levels of trust, which could be outdated photos when they see someone and then maybe they meet them in person. and they don't look anything like their photo, that's going to cause questions to pop up. Clutter in the background that can distract from the subject of the photo. Phone selfies, sometimes they can work, but often with selfies, we don't give enough attention to what else is in the photo, and you want to make sure that you're portraying a professional image. And as I said, photos that no longer reflect who you are. So I know women will often play more like with hairstyles, change color hair, things of that nature. You want to make sure that your photos keep up with that. So I usually suggest people update their photos at least once a year, more so if you tend to change your looks or your brand or anything of that. You want to make sure that causing confusion. And these photos, it just shows an example of a selfie that was being used, and then when he had a professional photo shoot, the difference of opinion you can have from a photo. Being confident in front of the camera, it does matter. It is visible. Discomfort can show in the form of tension, stiffness, guarded expressions. When someone feels at ease, their images will reflect calm and openness, and trust will increase further with that. Some simple camera confidence tips that I like to suggest are to relax your shoulders and make sure that you are breathing slowly. I invite people to put their favorite music on in the background. That lightens the pressure and helps you have fun, and it doesn't affect having a photo shoot. Think about connecting with your audience rather than how you're posing in your photos, and allow small movements. Don't be afraid to adjust like where you have your hands, your arms, the angle you're posing at. Be open to natural and normal expressions rather than feeling like you have to have a forced great big grin on your face or anything like that. Just want to be you, because that's what builds trust the best. And you might recognize this person. So we're busy, and often professional photo shoots are one of the first things to get pushed aside. Commonly, it's due to busy schedules, stress of trying to arrange a group photo shoot if you have multiple people involved, time out of the office, having to close the office. So during the pandemic, trust building and photo shoots really evolved, and a lot of really savvy professionals embraced the possibility of remote photo shoots when I first discovered them and when I felt confident enough to launch that within my business. So having a professional photo shoot or a headshot session these days doesn't require you to travel or go to a studio if you don't wish. You can have a session essentially wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection to connect to your photographer. The location you choose is up to you, which helps to introduce your story more to your audience and help them to understand who you or your company, who you are and what your company is about. And it helps you to feel more confident in your having a photo shoot if you're someone that doesn't normally feel natural in front of the camera. You can have a photo shoot wherever you feel relaxed, and that will definitely show up in your photos. Sessions are a lot more flexible because you can choose the location. You can have a quick session from your office, from your home, in your local coffee shop, wherever you want to have it. So basically want to think of your headshot as your first impression. It shortens the trust gap and reduces hesitation in reaching out to you, and helps to make those first conversations easier for everyone because trust has already been started to be established. And it can also increase more profile views on social media, more inquiries, better conversations, stronger alignment. So it's not only having to rely on your marketing, you can connect through the images and the content that you're sharing as well. And as I said, I recommend every maybe a little over that 1 to 2 years roughly, to update your photos unless there's been a big change, such as a new role, new brand, or noticeable changes in your appearance. You basically want someone, when they meet you, to not say, "You don't look anything like your photo." You want them to go, "Oh yeah, I recognized you in an instant." So I put in this fun little brand personality quiz. Feel free to scan the QR code. It just takes no more than about 5 minutes, and you discover what your brand personality is saying about you. And if anyone wants to reach out to me privately, I'll be happy to send you the links there in this as well. And as some of us were talking earlier, I just released my second book, Trust at First Sight. It goes along a lot with this. It's really about building trust in your brand and your marketing. Copies are now available on Amazon. If you happen to be in the UK, you can order from me directly. If not, you're always welcome to reach out, and I'd be happy to post. I have a little goodie pack that for people that ask that has like a bookmark and stuff in it. I have the companion workbook coming out on the 22nd, and that goes along nicely, so you can not just take in what you're reading, but you can actually apply it to your business and get so much more out of the book. That will be available on the 22nd. And I run twice monthly express headshot days that are run using my remote platform, which essentially I connect with my clients through an app on their phone, and it gives me temporary access to your camera and your microphone so that I can take photos and we can communicate, so I can help guide you during the photo shoot. And it's a fun, super convenient way to have a professional photo shoot without having to spend half a day out of the office and get a few photos that will really perk up your social media and website. So those are available anytime, and they're £49 currently. And again, if you want the links, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to send those to you.
Thank you for watching. We host a free to attend session every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern.